Namaste, friends, and welcome to the Aquarius edition of October 2020 Tarot. That's right, this tarot reading is for the sign of Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I want to wish you all the best in peace, prosperity, joy, bliss, abundance, and happiness. All right, through all moments in space and time. Aquarius, it's good to be with you again. I've got your cards shuffled. I'm gonna give them one last shuffle and see what's up for you guys. We'll have a little discussion about October. All right. The dawning of the age of the new seeker. Welcome, new seeker. All right, Aquarius. It feels like that time of year where the pressure release valve might come into play in regards to letting off some steam, blowing off some tension, and taking a larger break from something, taking a bigger break. Some of you might be on the edge of entering into ideas about career changes. The Two of Swords, it was just like it split my head like a lightning bolt right there. I couldn't even get the words out because for some of our friends in Aquarius, there could be like tremendous momentum now behind making a more permanent shift in your focus and what you want to do. The Two of Swords is anything but focus. So a return to concentration for some of you is a key answer for dealing with like troubles that might surmount as a result of not having enough time to do all that you've accepted to do or that you've been responsible for. So some of you might be looking to ideas about how to make your time more valuable, how to eliminate frustration through the power of focus and concentration and pushing your way through these things, but always a decision to be made. So for the mundane, that which happens on the day-to-day, Aquarius, I think you're going to be holding all of that up against the light of the change that you're thinking of making, seeing if the things, everything from the habitual things to the extraordinary or the unordinary that occur in your daily life, how they are reflecting the need to change or the desire to take more time in deciding to make these big changes. Because you're very wise, you're very smart and acute to know that, you know, the time is yours. So when the larger decisions are made, it's all about applying it in a way that is beneficial and suited to you and your needs more so than anything. I don't feel that you'd be stepping outside of that. All right. Now, for some of you, it might be that the external is kind of forcing you into these thoughts of these changes. We've got the Hangman up here now. And again, when we see major arcana up in the monthlies, it means that some of our Aquarian friends will be going through some bigger changes. Some of you might feel fated to particular situations in being like, it affects you, but there's nothing I can do about it. It affects you, but there's nothing you can do about it. But let's try and step outside of that thinking or step outside of that perception with a Hangman. Let's look at things upside down or in reverse, right? Being like, as is my will and my choices and my essence and my presence in the world should be hopefully at a place where you can command those things that do seem to leave you feeling somewhat fated to them at times. And I know it's hard because what's on the other side of it sometimes is a little bit of fear, being like, well, if I change that, that also means that X, Y, and Z happens or that this goes away. And it's very logical and mindful to think about these sorts of things, but evaluate them, do deep dives on each one of these things in your meditations or prayers as they arrive. When you find yourself speaking to Source or listening, you know, through meditation of Source, you know, meditation and prayer is like the speaking and listening of the cosmos. When you find these things coming through cerebral, through your mind, and you decide whether or not to open your heart up to those ideas or not, do deep dives into each one and see how they fit. See how the way you're viewing them, is there necessarily need to be that focus, or can there be broader attention to the overall subject, or being able to just remove yourself and say, you know what, I've been seeking after that for such a long time, or this has been happening to me for such a long time now. I feel as though I'm not going to resign or resolve myself to just allowing it to continue, to actually using the power of focus and concentration to take my stand against being fated to that particular event, circumstance, or however it's manifesting in your life right now, Aquarius. That was a long explanation of how to get there, but it lets me know that some of this runs very deep for you guys, like very like right to the core. These are like the essential life moments and decisions for some of you this October. Not all of you, but Aquarius. For the majority, it'll feel like maybe like some pressure bubbling up or some tension bubbling up, like those days where it's like, you just want to run for the hills. Like, what could go wrong? Will go wrong. It just seems, especially with Mercury going retrograde on the 14th, some of you may just want to take a break, like we said right off the start of the reading. And you need to. You need to be fair to yourself. Justice would say to the hangman there, you got to cut yourself down from that tree. You've got to get off of this particular train ride to the places that arrives to you where you're feeling fated. Know where your destination is. Otherwise, you'll just ride the train endlessly. And Justice is here to say, fairness and balance in your life is going to be about this, because this is all about perception, seeing things blindfolded to seeing things if the opposite were true. And in this case, Justice is not blindfolded. So seeing things absolutely clearly, 100%. How do you view these valuable topics, or these valuable decisions in your life? Have you looked at them from all direction? Have you tried, all of these different viewpoints in order to rip this blindfold off and get a correct, clear vision of whether we're turning left or whether we're turning right here? And never feel like you can't go back. Never feel like, what is it? Nothing is forever and forever is nothing. Don't worry about these things, because they seem to be more so of making things better for yourself, Aquarius. That is the perpetual quest. That is in your nature. It's like, we're going to make things better for ourselves. So what about all these other things that are left undone? Some of you will find yourself returning to old projects, I feel, in the later half of October when it comes time for the sun to transit into Scorpio. Some of you may bear down, use some of this focus and concentration on old projects to get them rebooted or wrapped up, or whatever the case may be for your project. And this is about what's being fair to yourself. You don't want to lay it to waste for too long a period of time where it feels hard to jump back into it or hard to get back into it. For some of you, that will just mean hobbies and friendship groups or whatever it might be. You're such a wide and varied taste here in Aquarius, and exceptionally skilled at very many things in life. You got the skill set of the zodiac. Three of Cups here to round up the month. And so, if you've been feeling detached or a little bit withdrawn from friends and lovers this month, if, this Mars retrograde, Mercury's going on the 14th, but Mars is already there. And people are kind of, adopting this collective, like, let's just withdraw here a little bit. Let's step back from these situations. Don't let any of this worry you. And it's not because Mars is going direct here at the end of the month, but for you, I feel you will finally figure out the certain adaptations or things that you have so that you can begin to feel better, make things better, making sure that you're feeling secure in mind about the fact that it's okay to plan for decisions that are still like many moons away. All right. And with this as well, family and friends coming around, calling, wishing you well, and as you wind out into November, plans for the winter season with those that mean most to you, Aquarius, these will start to take form, start to take shape in your mind, and you can begin to plan for those as well. All right, so it's a little bit tricky. Just remember to look at this from all sides, and your mind will become clear about the situation. And, sometimes choosing not to decide is still a choice. And be fine with that as long as you've got it backed up and you're willing to see that from the other side. All right, lots of love, Aquarius. We'll see you all next time.